to my channel. Today I am super excited about this tutorial. When I first purchased the blue and pink dress for Aurora, I wanted to make it into a transformation dress, but I figured I already showed you how to do that with the bell dress, that I wanted to do something different. And when I was looking at it, I couldn't decide if I liked the pink dress or the blue dress more, and I feel like that was the whole theme of the end of the movie in Aurora, or in Sleeping Beauty, because you just didn't know, like, and you kind of liked her in the pink and you kind of liked her in the blue. You loved her in both. So I decided to show you how to take two of Aurora's dresses and make them so that you can have the best of both worlds. So let's get going. Alrighty guys, so I purchased both of these dresses on Amazon. They are exactly the same dress, minus like a tiny bit of details, but they are pretty close to each other. So I got one in blue and I got one in pink, and made sure that they were the same size, and they are really cool dresses actually. They come with a few different layers, which kind of gets complicated when you're sewing them together, but each one had the same amount of layers, so that made it really easy. They both had all of the same types of sewing and stitching and collars, so that worked perfect. So if you are gonna sew two dresses together, getting two of the exact same ones in different colors, especially for Aurora, helps. So let's get going on cutting these bad boys apart. All right, so I laid them out just to get some cute shots of them because they're so cute and they're about to be cut in half. But when we want two dresses to go together, we've got to cut them in half. So I pulled off this emblem on both of them, and then I just cut down the top. And the top's pretty simple because it has like a line going right down the center of it. So I just followed that as my guideline, and I didn't really need to do much more except follow that stitch line. There are some like sequins and things like that, but you should be okay. It's all one layer. But once you get down to the bottom, that's where it gets just a little bit more complicated. So I cut through kind of like that chunky waistline part, and then I'm going to flip up that layer on the top to make sure that I get that cut evenly, just by following from the tip of the point all the way down to meeting that spot where I cut in half, just to make sure that they lined up. And then for the bottom, there are 2 layers of tulle and then 2 layers of fabric. But with the clip and tear method, you should get a perfectly straight line. So I just cut about 1 inch down, and then I clip and tore the rest. But you do want to be careful with the tulle because it stretches and it can get a little bit longer. So I clip and tore the fabric to make sure I got a perfectly straight line, and then I cut the very ends off. And then for the tulle, I went in with my scissors and I just cut them. And then Hunter was very sad that he saw me cut the pink one in half, and he said, "Don't do it. Don't do it to this one, Mom. You have to do it." Okay. So I did that. Actually, I'm going to finish cutting the pink one, but I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with the back. We're going to clip and tear, and then I'm just going to tear it all the way down just like we did the front, and then I'm going to repeat everything with the blue dress. Okay, so once we have both of those done, we're going to put our right sides together of the front, and we're just going to work on the front first. So you can pin this. I didn't, just because it's a costume. I feel like costumes are used like one time and then you never wear them again. So I'm not super picky with costumes. But if you want it to be super fancy and perfect, make sure you pin it. But I'm just going to work on the top first by doing like a 1 inch seam allowance, not anything specifically, and I'm going to backstitch over any areas that I want to make sure are reinforced. So I'm just going to stitch all the way down that top until I get down to the waistline. And then once I'm down to that part, what I want to do is I want to get the tulle and get it out of the way, because I don't want to sew the tulle together. I just want it to kind of like flow together. So there are 2 layers of pink and 2 layers of blue. So I'm just going to sew over the waistline, making sure that I don't like break my needle or anything, because that's pretty thick. But once you get over that hump, the rest of it's pretty easy. I just kind of make sure that all 4 of the layers are lined up really well, and then just finish my way down to the bottom and backstitch when I get to the bottom. And then the tulle just kind of runs together, and I really like how it kind of overlaps, and you can also separate it if you want because it really runs into that blue and pink like part of the dress where it's kind of like flowing together as one color. And then I'm going to take just the extra little piece of this and bring the right sides together, and starting at the tip of it so that it ends perfectly, I'm going to probably do like a 1-inch seam allowance. If you don't want that much to disappear, you can do like a 1/2-inch seam allowance if you want as well. So just going right up to the base of it and then back stitching, and then we're done.